Okay, so for this first image, I'm going to adjust the white balance to be a bit more blue and pink and then go do a basic S-curve. Then I'm going to go down to the color sliders and make the reds more orange, the oranges more red, the yellows more orange, and the greens more yellow. I tweak the other sliders some too, but those colors don't have a strong presence in the photo. I decrease the saturation of orange and yellow just a little bit and bump up their luminance. I increase the saturation of red a little bit. Here you can see the difference so far. Then I'm going to go down to split toning and add orange to the highlights and blue to the shadows. I'm going to increase my sharpness and clarity and bump up my highlights, shadows, and contrast. Here you can see the difference. Then I'm going to create a brush layer over the eyes. And I'm going to brighten them, increase the clarity, and decrease the saturation. After that, I take one final look at the image and it looks a little bit red to me, so I move my hue slider to make the reds a bit more orange. I do some minor skin retouching off screen, and here's the final before and after of this image. Alright, for this next image, I'm making the temperature just a bit cooler and bringing up the shadows a little bit. Then I'm going to make my usual S-curve and increase my contrast and exposure. In the color sliders, I'm going to be making the reds more orange, the oranges more yellow, the yellows more orange, and then I'm going to decrease the saturation of the yellows and oranges a bit. Then I'm going to make the greens more yellow, the blues more aqua, and tweak the purple and magenta sliders, but it doesn't really make a difference. Then I'm going to increase the luminance of the orange, yellow, and blue a little bit. Then, after that, we're going to go down to split toning, and I'm going to be making my highlights a little purpley pink and my shadows teal. It's still a bit darker than I'd like, so I'm going to increase my exposure just a little bit more. I don't like how light the sky is, so I'm going to straighten the image and crop it down. I also increase the saturation of the highlights in the split toning tool. After that, I'm going to be taking the brush tool once again and increase the exposure and clarity and decrease the saturation over the eyes. After this, I took a break from the image, and when I came back, I tweaked it to be a bit cooler off screen. I came back and using the clone tool, I added more bokeh to the photo. The key to this is varying the opacity, size, and placement of the bokeh that you add. I'm used to the clone tool in Photoshop, so this one's still a bit wonky to me, but I start to get the hang of it. And here you can see the final before and after of this image. Okay, so for this last image, I tweaked the white balance, making the image a touch pinker and cooler, and increased the clarity and vibrance. I make a more subtle S-curve and mess with the midtones a bit in the blue channel. Then I go down to my hue sliders and I mess with the blue hue just a little bit, and I end up leaving it as is for the moment. Then I go down and I desaturate the blues quite a bit, and I increase the luminance of the yellows. I make the greens a bit more blue and desaturate them a bit and bring back some saturation in the blues. I mess with the red, orange, and yellow sliders, making the reds more magenta and the yellows more orange. Then I increase the luminance of the oranges and blues. I make my shadows a pinky purple color, and I make the highlights teal. I increase the saturation a little bit and then increase the highlights and decrease the shadows, doing the same thing with the white and black sliders. Then I drag the shadows end of the blue curve up a little bit and end up dragging the overall shadows up a bit too. I added some more bokeh to this image as well, but since I already showed that process once, I won't show it again. You can see the difference here in the final before and after. Alright, that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, check out all the links in my description, and leave me a comment telling me what your favorite props to do photo shoots with are. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys soon.